What is going on with these Monday night engagement meetings? Are they council meetings? We've got Taylor representing Peterborough this week. There was a column there. I think Sylvia's column said, you should run for mayor if you want to act like the mayor. So what's your response to
I'm not running for mayor. Just to be
I think you've announced you're running. So.
I am running for mayor. If you look at my history as a politician, I've always held public engagement meetings. I've always had town halls. And they've always taken different forms. Went from drop in and have a coffee at Nada's with me. They've been the traditional style where we're at the front and audiences in the back. And that one was 150 people for the boarding house bylaws actually started out of that one. So that was in 2008, I believe, or 2009, but that started that one going. So I believe strongly in the public engagement, and if you look at the last 8 years of this council, what's our number one criticism in the public? Not enough two-way conversations. People come to council, you're not listening to us, you make your decision anyway. We've heard it over and over again over the years. So, I like the two-way conversations. Even at our economic development conference, that lady, Kim from Grey Bruce, she was the CAO, she's encouraged two-way discussions with your council. And with the procedural bylaw, we're not allowed to enter into a two-way conversation with anybody who presents. So we need to come up with a better way of doing that. And one way is making yourself available to council.
Do you think, though, Dean, that I agree with everything you're saying. So then how much two-way is there? The 12 people at one of those meetings, 10 at another. Do you think maybe well, it's not really. It's not very much conversation.
I've held luncheons with more people.
I just wonder if your effort shouldn't be going, and I don't know the answer to this because I don't know, maybe there is not an answer. When there's a big issue going on, like boarding houses, a decade ago, when it was selling off part of PDI,
when we had
people show up.
And we had the, what was the one? The food at the Lighthouse. Mm-hmm. At our last, when we had a public engagement meeting, we had 200 people showed up. And that was a burning issue. So,
right. so on a big
but it is
issue,
me.
But is there a way you can get more people to come to just a general, come and talk to us about whatever you're interested in? Is it that they're not interested, or?
Well, I think you'll see it change from cycle to cycle, and we're still growing pains with this new format. Mm-hmm. Like, it's always been every Monday. And then councillors were responsible for their own public engagement, whatever level they wanted to do. So this is a new format. We've only had 2 cycles. Mm-hmm. We're actually not even completed our second cycle of this new format. So there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some way to figure it out and how to get people
maybe
in.
there is, but I mean, it's not.
You said you didn't have the answer either.
I know. And
so,
right,
who knows, right?
Look at.
Unless you're trying stuff, you don't know the answer.
But I think what you're trying has been tried a lot of times. Call a meeting and see who shows up. And even
notice given on these meetings too.
Sort of important.
Well, that's why we're trying to hit the same date. I know in business it's important. If you're going to run it,
to run a schedule,
do you need to have it on the same Thursday every month or the same?
But you look at the official plan public meetings. That is an important issue, but it's not something that grabs people. Yeah. They've been getting the same kind of 8 to 12 people show up at those as well. And that's always been the case as long as I've been here for anything that's not hot button. And it just seems like there should be a better way, and mostly what gets tried is call a meeting and see who shows up.
Yeah, well, we do. I'm active on Twitter as well, so mm-hmm. I do try to reach out on Twitter, and I respond to all my phone calls. And like I said, for the 12 years I've been on council, I've always done public engagement in all its forms. And
that's another form of public engagement.
In all its forms,
mm-hmm.
right? So this is just another form of something I've traditionally done. So mm-hmm. I'm just taking advantage. And maybe it's kind of my business sense. And when I run a business, even if I start a new promotion at my business, it's got to be the same day. And I might not get anybody to the first one, but I need to keep doing it on the same day all the time. So we've only had 2 of these. Mm-hmm. So the word might not even be out. I've even had phone calls from people saying, "Oh, I didn't know you guys were doing it until I saw it in the paper."
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. I mean, there might be a better way to do this engagement process. We're going to work it out.
I'm going to go ahead and channel my inner Sylvia here and just say I don't think the issue is that, you know, they're just getting off the ground and, you know, trying to get good attendance. That's fine, growing pains and what have you. I think the issue is that you're having these meetings and councillors aren't knowing about them until.
That's not necessarily accurate. If you
Okay,
go back
then-
and look, if you go back
yeah.
and look at the tapes, because I've gone back and looked, December the 5th page, 3 councillors talked about it in that meeting.
Now, is
Right?
talking, yeah, is
They
talking
said,
about
"We're
it in a
gonna do
council
it."
meeting
Yeah,
and
so we're
saying,
gonna
yeah,
do
we
it.
want to do something like this, and then saying,
No,
we are going to have this meeting on this date at this time, because the city clerk and the CAO didn't know about these meetings until they read about them in the paper.
Alan Seabrook knew about it, and so did the clerk. I told both of them.
I talked to both of those people.
Well, I
and-
guess we're going to differ on that one because I dealt what I said to them. Yeah.
Well, no city councillor, no city staff should
And
be
listen,
finding
there
out
might
about
have been
this.
some misunderstanding from people maybe they didn't hear what other councillors were saying, and those dates were talked about. But that's not
Well-
necessarily, you know what I mean?
If half
That's
of council is saying that they didn't know about these meetings, and there was 5 or 6 councillors that said they didn't know about the meeting on the Monday night.
Yeah, and I mean, I watched the tape, and
Yeah. I talked about
I
it.
didn't come out of it. If I had been sitting there as a council member, it didn't tell me that first Monday at 5:30
There might have been some miscommunication. I agree, there might have been some miscommunication, but there wasn't anything nefarious going on. Like, let's don't read more into it than there is. I mean, we were just trying to engage
Well,
the
I think
public,
Lois
right?
said on the show she thought it
There's
was
a-
politicking, and that's
not-
that's what it was perceived as. You know, we have a new system in place, and right away that Monday night where council by rights could be off doing other council work or just relaxing at home.
Good for you, too.
And this other opportunity came up. But the first thing that jumped to my mind was, if more than a quorum gathers anywhere, you have a formal council meeting. It gets back to your procedural bylaws. So how do you get around that? Does it
That was
become
the
an
one issue.
Yeah, does it become an official meeting? And I also understand these meetings aren't budgeted for, so who pays for the security or whatever
Well, we're
else?
still working through those issues, and you're right about the quorum. That's something that we need to work out. And Alan said, as long as there aren't 6 people in one room, you're going to be fine. So going forward, we're going to look at different formats on how to arrange that.
And
so
how are you
that-
going to get more than 12 people? Because that's the key. And
Well-
it's not televised. It's, you know, is there not a
Well-
better? Well, how do you get that 200 people out again? You know, that you
Well,
have-
that's be a burning issue to drive them
Maybe-
out. But I mean,
Yeah, say you're going to talk about the Parkway. That'll get them out there.
or PDIs.
I'll talk about both those things right now. Can we get to diversity for a minute? Because we were talking about that before.
Are you trying to deflect here, Dean? Well,
No.
Actually, you know what? I
No,
think
finish. I mean, we can talk the whole half
actually,
hour
yeah,
on
no, I think we
beat the dead
we
horse
know-
if you want, but we can or move on.
Yeah, no, I think we know where you stand on that.